Mike, this is your experiment. It's your baby, if you like. Can you talk me through the setup?
Yes, so we have two vessels here. The first one has our sample, which is acidic, and we have added an indicator. And the second one is our base, so that's sodium hydroxide. It's similar to what you have in the oven cleaner. It's very high pH and that's very low pH. Then we have two syringe pumps. This syringe pump pumps the acid, and that delivers 30 mils of our sample. And this one is the one that students control, which is the base. And they control it via the slider and the buttons.
Okay, so and then what happens in this bit here?
So in this bit here, then you add your base and it stirs for about 30 seconds.
Oh, it's a little propeller thing
It's
in
a
there.
little propeller thing, yep, and it stirs for 30 seconds. Then they add the second dose and it stirs, and they carry on adding until they get a colour change. So this indicator is clear and colourless at low pH, but as soon as you reach neutral, it turns pink, and that's what gives the pink colour at the end.
And that's the end of the experiment?
That's correct, yeah, yep.
Okay.
So then they would repeat it, but this time doing it more accurately by slowing down the addition when it gets towards the end point.
What are the challenges in making this kind of experiment work online?
So we have to develop an interface that's simple for the student to use, and it has to be robust as well. And in the early days, we had a gamer who was pressing the button multiple times with no patience. So that's why we put in a bar chart to show exactly the percentage, how it's gone, and we grade out the buttons until it's ready for them to do it.
So it's sliders and buttons,
It's
basically.
sliders and buttons.
How does this way of working compare with a traditional laboratory?
So in a traditional laboratory, the students would do this completely manually. They would have simpler devices for measuring volumes and that. But what we've done is taken an Autotitrator and we've set it up in semi-manual mode. So the students have a much greater degree of control than would normally be used in industry.
What kind of application would this experiment have, for example, in the real world?
So it's used in industry, in various different industries, and one of them is the food industry for measuring vitamin C and for measuring chloride, because it's quite important to know how much sodium chloride,
salt
content of your food. It's also used in the water industry to calculate hardness of water, because you need to know how hard your water is, whether you need to add things to your dishwasher or to your washing machine.
Very important if you live in Milton Keynes.
Yes, we are the second hardest water in the UK.
So really the magic of this is that as a student, I run the experiment, I control the experiment, and the data set that is produced, all of that is completely unique to me. That's my own set of real scientific data.
Yes, that's correct. So it's not like a simulation where you've got a video and everyone gets the same data. So it's your personal data, and you can have a go as many times as you want, but there is a booking system. You can't just do it, and we tend to run it from 10 in the morning till 10 at night.
What's the strangest place that you've ever heard anybody running this experiment from?
Well, I've heard that somebody actually ran it from an oil rig, so that's an interesting one. Also, somebody actually used it on a plane. They must have paid extra for the internet.
Brilliant, but it's here, it's for everybody to use, and it's accessible, and presumably you can repeat it if you need to do the experiment again.
Yes, yeah, you just book another time slot. And it can be done on phones, tablets, iPads, laptops and desktop computers.
Oh, that's brilliant, Mike, well done.